Hi, everybody. Welcome back to OMG the Cloud. Today we're in our container series and we're going to deploy Plex Media Server and we're going to use some NFS mounts for our media storage. This gives us some additional flexibility when we are connecting over to a NAS for our media storage. Traditionally, what you would do if you needed to mount external storage into a container from somewhere else on your network, a lot of people will use an NFS share, but they'll do it down at the host level. And you really want the container itself to do the mounting of the NFS share. So that's what we're going to cover today. And I think the Plex server is a great example of that. So we're going to step through how the container mounts it. I'm going to show you briefly what's needed if you're using FreeNAS or TrueNAS for your physical NAS server. And I'll show you in the Plex interface where those mounts come through. So let's dive in. This is our docker-compose file for a Plex server. Beyond just our Plex data mount, we have 3 mounts for our media. I have TV shows, movies, and music. Let's just step through what it's doing. We're using the driver opt switch in the compose file to specify what this volume mount looks like. And specifically, we're using the NFS volume mount type. The next line is this O colon. This specifies the options. This is specifying the IP address or the host name of your NFS server, in our case, our TrueNAS server, and a couple other options. We use the no lock, the soft, and I'm putting this RO, so that's read only. There's really no reason for my Plex server to have read-write access to these media shares. Other things are managing the media itself in the background, and we'll definitely get into that later in this series. Now, this doesn't have any impact on the Plex server's ability to mark a TV show or a movie as watched or played. It just means that the Plex server itself cannot delete any media. This upper area of the Docker Compose file here defines the volumes, and then further down in the services section, baseline compose file for Plex will get you all the things you have here. We're just specifying those volumes, and you can see down further below here that I'm mounting the movies, TV shows, and music folders into the media root folder. This helps me to identify those folders easily when we go into the web UI and actually configure it. Let's jump over to our TrueNAS server really quick. I just want to show you as an example. I don't want to dive deep into NFS configuration at this point, but I just want to point out I needed to set the map all user and the map all group to root and wheel in order to successfully mount these shares from my container. I'll be happy to take comments below if you feel like there's a better way to do that. I know seeing the root account in any sort of a user mount is kind of cringy, I get it, but you do need to set something there for the map all in order for things to mount correctly. So that's all you really need to do in TrueNAS for your NFS shares. Once you have your Plex server deployed, just using your Docker stack deploy normal process, you can take a look at some of the previous videos if that's new to you, but you'll deploy that Docker Compose file and you'll get your Plex server. Once you get into Plex and get things set up, I just wanted to show an example of, for example, my movies mount here. So I'm using this /media movies mount. That's the root of where my movies media is contained. And if we want to just jump into the actual Docker container itself for Plex, you can, back on your command line, you can use this docker exec -it and then the full name of the container. And then at the end, use /bin/sh. So this will take you directly into the container. So at this point, I'm inside the container and this is the root file system. And I do have a folder named media. And in there, I do have the 3 folders that I mounted from my compose file, movies, music, TV. Back over on our Plex server, we'll see how that folder structure does line up here with our media mounts. I have one for movies, as we discussed. I have one for TV shows. I have one for music. This gives us a nice, elegant way to mount NFS shares right in Docker Compose. This lets you avoid having to mount that NFS root on the host itself where you're running Docker from. I like this a lot because it really wraps all of the parameters, all of the requirements of that container up into one file. So if I took my Plex Docker Compose file over to another Docker host, as long as it had network connectivity to that NFS share I'm talking to. If I start up that container, it's going to mount those NFS shares and it's going to get the media that I'm expecting it to get. I don't have to do anything extra out of the box on the Docker host itself. So this is a more elegant way to do that. Well, that's it for today, guys. Just a really quick deployment of Plex Media Server using NFS shares. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. If you found this helpful, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you see when we launch another episode. And I hope you have a great Monday. Let's start this week out strong. We'll see you again on Wednesday over in our TrueNAS series, where we're going to be doing some more fun stuff over there. I hope you join me for that. Have a great week. See you guys soon. Thanks for watching.